the أشقر عيونه ملون. And I'm curious, so do you guys think that this is something that, we just made up right now? It's like a stereotype that's outdated, or do you think this actually still exists?
I don't think so, really. I've personally had an experience with this where this lady wanted to come over to ask for my hand in marriage for her son. At that point, I had literally just come back from Mexico. I was so tanned. I was so dark. My hair, as you can tell, is very black. And she came over, and I was wearing a black dress, my favorite color, clearly. She sat there, and she kept looking at me from head to toe, and the whole time she was literally just staring at me from head to toe, looking at my skin color, looking at my hair color, and she left and never came back. And I figured it was one of that just because she would say it around in the community, مدورة واحدة شقرة, blue eyes, all of that, which clearly is not me, but yeah.
So Rowan, are you Syrian? Is that your background?
Yes, yeah, I'm Syrian. Yeah.
Do you feel like that's something that's very prevalent or common in Syrian culture?
Oh yes.
Why?
At least, I don't know, honestly.
You have more blondes than the rest of the Arabs.
I'm not too sure, honestly. I think we do. Yeah, probably. But exactly where I'm from in Syria, we don't have many blondes. So I would get why in that specific area, like everyone would want a blonde. But everywhere else, I know there are a lot of girls like that.
So I'm curious, when you guys were growing up, like, did people like make remarks about people who are blonde versus people who aren't? Like, Ala, you mentioned like you were getting praised. What else have you guys heard or experienced?
I remember in my childhood, I had my little sister's friend. Where I'm from Iraq. So she's from south of Iraq, which there's a lot of sun. Their skin is very dark, like almost black. So I remember when in the community or around us, she was always they would tell behind her back, she's not pretty, and I believed it as a child, right? But it never hit me why she wasn't pretty. And now I think about it, she actually had beautiful features, but her skin was much darker than everyone else around her. So yeah.
So I am curious, when I asked you, Rowan, why do you think that is, you say you don't know, and that's a very fair statement. I don't think any of us really know why that's the case.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, how has culture impacts what we define as beautiful? And I don't want it to seem very serious. Just be honest. Just tell me what you really think.
I personally fried my hair with full blonde highlights.
Oh, did you?
When I was 16 or 17. What's the shit of my life? My hair started falling out. It got so... It was just really bad. Yeah, I just went full on blonde. It looked horrible. I'm not gonna lie. So...
What made you do it though?
Everybody was blonde. Everyone around me. If a girl had dark hair, she would go and do a blonde ombre, or she would dye her hair a different color. Anything to make the color lighter. Or for example, whenever I would go get tanned or go to the beach and whatever, my mom would always be you're burning your skin, don't go under the sun too much, رح تسمري, رح تسودي. And not just everybody else. So yeah.
I feel like we're also Arab culture. We try to be like the West, and we want to be. We're looking for someone that looks like them, that looks like in the movies, and that's what we've seen. That's how civilization grew, and that's what we know.
So that's a very interesting point, Ala. So you said right now that we as the Arab community, you think that basically what we see on TV is kind of what we assume as beautiful and all that kind of stuff. Now, you guys, there's social media, and everyone is kind of it shifts kind of the direction of what we think is beautiful. How do you think social media now kind of comes into play?
I think right now, even like going back to the like Arab world, the what defines beauty is changing, because there, with social media, there are a lot of different looks out there, the very dark, the very blonde, and everything in between, and everyone is popular. So it's kind of, there is no, I guess, specific standard for beauty anymore.
So now you think it's kind of like shifting. Well,
Yeah,
yo,
a bit,
Kim
yeah.
Kardashian.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm actually very curious. So just to bring the Kardashians into this, like right now, if you think about it, like 15 years ago, there was, you know, you had Pamela Anderson, you had Madonna, you had the girl from Charlie's Angels, which I can't remember her name.
Hannah Montana.
You got Hannah Montana. Don't forget Hannah Montana. I was gonna say these were like considered to be kind of like beauty and standards to aspire to look like. Now you got the Kardashians, who kind of shifted even like body image and how people
Right,
think
yeah.
what looks good and what's not. Do you think that kind of trickled down in our community at this stage?
I think so, yeah. Especially because like the features that the Kardashians have are very Middle Eastern.
Well, they're Armenian.
But yeah, they're Armenian. So their features, like a lot of Arab girls have it, like being curvy, having the dark hair, having thick eyebrows, and like all those features. A lot of Arab girls have that. So it has helped. Not gonna lie, it really has. It made life so much easier.
Yeah, honestly, like RG is like, yes,
Yes, thank you.
So I'm actually very curious. So before the Kardashians, how would you describe kind of like your self-image versus now, like in 2019, where the beauty perceptions kind of changed?
I was very uncomfortable, I would say, because I think in the 90s and even beginning 2000s, the beauty image, or like looking specifically at the body, it was slim, like basically a white person kind of body structure, which is like no ups and downs, just like straight body. And then for me, like no matter what, I couldn't fit that standard. No way, like it's not in my genes. So I always had like that image, like, you know, like I could do better if I gym more, if anything, but realistically speaking, that wouldn't happen. But then now with Kim Kardashian, I'm like, yes, finally, I fit.
Curvy's in.
Yeah.
You see, it's interesting because it's I think social media is a double-edged sword. Like it sounds like I can't speak for I'm not a woman, I can't speak about that, but I mean it sounds like for guys, they're looking at social media, they're like, oh, there's people have they do the plastic surgeries, they have a lot of photoshops, makeup that changes their perception. So I think it's a double-edged sword where you can, like, people see not the real image in that, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so you're talking about the whole concept of filtered reality, that people kind of look different on Instagram, and when people are viewing this, it's like, hey, yo, like that's not real. And so do you mind sharing like maybe a personal experience? Like, did you ever see that and be like, hey, I feel not that great about myself? Because I know I do. Like I see like these like super jacked guys, I'm like, damn, how did they get this jacked? And then I see them in real life and they're not as jacked.
That's the
Angle.
It's the right angle, the right shade, the right eyeshadow, whatever. That's good on you.
The guys, what are they do? You never know.
You never know.
So I don't want to put you on the spot, but as a male, what do you think in terms of like beauty standards and in terms of actually going around and finding someone?
Like physical beauty.
Like physical beauty.
Okay. I think she has to be she or he, right? Doesn't matter.
Well, let's talk about you. Right now,
okay.
you're Palestinian, you come from a background, if your family similar to mine, there is that kind of like emphasis, like, لازم تكون like عيونها ملونة and all that kind of stuff. It's like بلاد الشام, we all like have that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, how does that kind of like impact how you go about your dating?
how I go about my dating. I feel like she has to be the same.
Like I'm ملونة as you, or like.
Yeah, you're right. I guess for me, my own personal opinion, because we grew up in Canada, like everyone's like mixed, so I don't really care about the color. I know a lot of guys do. A lot of guys do. I'll repeat it again. Shape برضه نفس الشيء. She has to be fit. A lot of people do. For me, I feel like personality is more important. I know a lot of the guys would say that.
Actually, I've seen a lot of them that do and that care mainly about personality. So it's normal.
Personality takes people far.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like looks can only take you so far. You can
That's
go
true.
for date number 1, 2, and then بعدين where's the personality?
And as they say, beauty fades. So not to kind of like go, too deep, but what things do you kind of like look for in terms of someone who you are attracted to? Like what makes someone attractive for you?
Honestly, if you make me laugh, you're instantly very attractive to me. And to me personally, I think when you like someone or their personality is really nice, they start becoming attractive to you. Their looks become very attractive. Once you like their personality and the way they make you feel, they instantly become very good looking to you. That's just like personal opinion. Like I've spoken to many people that are not that great looking or not very fit or not tall or blonde or whatever it is. But once I feel happy or once this person makes me feel a certain way or their personality is really nice, then they instantly just become very attractive to me.
So a lot of its attractiveness is kind of like personality more than that. Okay, I'm curious now. I want to go back to the blonde aspect. And I want to ask you, do you actually think this is something that's kind of affected by our culture, or do you think it's innate? Because there is a study I'll put out there by Carol Jamay. She's an archaeologist, and she studied this 11,000 years ago that men would actually prefer females that were blonde.
Interesting.
And for them, the theory was that they were considered to be rare. So there are also countless studies that girls might be more attracted to taller guys, and
Right.
the list goes on.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of just now focus on that. Do you think that is true? And what are your thoughts on it?
Could be like there's a part of it like natural selection and whatnot, but
Okay, I was like, damn, well, you are a scientist. I forgot.
I honestly am not sure. Like, I don't know if like being blonde is associated in any way with like better criteria. Like your genes are better in any way. I'm not sure, but it could be like blondes in general are more rare than like darker skin. There's just few of them. So I think there is this idea that like everywhere beauty is anything that's unique or different. And in that sense, I think because like blondes there are so few of blondes in the Arab world, they're always considered like more beautiful. But like
a rarity.
Yeah.
Do you think that's kind of like what, like the theory of why people find like exotic and people who are tanned in this part of the world beautiful? So I guess like there's a market for everybody if you think about it.
Yeah. Depends on where you go, honestly.
Yeah. And it depends who you are as well. Like some people are different. The one question, and it's kind of like the elephant in the room. Do you guys prefer blondes?
No. I'm not gonna lie, no.
Damn. No. Well, okay, this is be honest.
I went to Queens. It's the whitest school you can ever go to.
He started blushing.
Oh no.
What do you prefer?
I prefer no.
Okay, makes sense.
How about you, hon?
I don't think it matters. I think it's like it's funny because I think when I was a kid, it's like because you keep hearing that. I'm like, okay, no, it has to be someone who's like blonde and blue eyes. But then you actually start dating and kind of like seeing things. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's not. And honestly speaking, it's kind of like what you said. It's personality and your values, and these things go way beyond that.
100%.
But I am curious because like there are going to be little girls who are watching this, and they might do kind of like what Ron, you did, like you started, dyeing your hair and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but like my question right now is, what can we do, or what can they do, or all of us do really, to really overcome this negative self-image, or this trying to compare people? This is a deep question, yo.
Yeah, I know. Are you talking like about blondes specifically, or like
About
beauty in general?
Yeah.
We should try to go against the status quo, where we have to look beyond the image of the body, or the external image. We should look into who they are, what they value. These are the things that are really important for the person, for our humanity in general, because that's what we have to look beyond the external extremities.
So I'm actually okay. So it's more of like we need to start like being self-conscious, not to be superficial.
Yeah.
But what can we do to kind of like not compare ourselves to these people, or to not compare ourselves to the Kardashians? Because there could be a blonde, and she's like, she was born and to being like this, golden champion, and now like the beauty standards have changed, and now she might be feeling a little different. And don't you think it's important for everyone to understand that beauty is really in the eye of the beholder? And not to make this a leading question for everyone to be like, yes, but like, why is that important?
I feel like a lot of people, especially young girls, like I never knew this growing up. Like everybody is special in their own way. Everyone has something special in them that's different. You don't have to be a specific way to be beautiful or to be looked at as something special. Like I'm not going to lie, I've had a lot of I was very self-conscious about my body because I was a little bit chubbier. I always had like very big cheeks and a bit chubbier in my body. So I always wanted to lose weight. When I was younger, not gonna lie, I was bullied for having big lips. Now everybody gets Botox for bigger lips. So beauty standards change, and if we keep trying to change ourselves with the time, then we're never going to feel good about ourselves or feel beautiful. So just always remember, everybody is special in their own way, and everybody is beautiful in a different way. Just as long as you love yourself and you accept yourself, that's all that matters.
I think that concludes our second episode of the Yalla show, talking about, if you haven't noticed, this is not just a topic about just being blonde. We wanted to delve deeper and talk actually about self-image, about beauty standards, and hopefully you got something out of it. So thank you for watching.